Good day, Crime Talk aficionados. This is Scott Reisch of Crime Talk. I am coming to you in the wee hours of the morning in an undisclosed location in the state of Colorado where I am conducting a homicide trial. But I wanted to bring to you the Chris Watts jail interviews that the FBI, Colorado Bureau of Investigations, and the Frederick Police Department conducted with Chris Watts to try and gain more insight into his heinous crimes. I appreciate you watching. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. And if you have a comment about something Mr. Watts says, please leave a comment and we will talk about it.
Whatever isn't linked together, so she would know if you're getting it, downloading apps and stuff like that.
They used to be a long time ago, but when we got different phones, or when our phone contact list would be synced up from the cloud and stuff, I couldn't have, she had tons of phone contacts. I just couldn't have all that, but it's still kind of linked up at one point. But as far as she asked me to get my own iCloud account, just to kind of free that up a little bit.
How about your Facebook account? You deleted that at some point. When did you do that? And why?
I think it was, got back August 7th. Went to work. I think it was probably August 8th. That's when I think told me she told her friends about me. And I just figured, they probably looked me up on Facebook and see that I was pregnant. If Nikki already knew probably already, but that's the reason why I did that.
Did you and Nikki ever fight?
We never fought, but like I said, I had to calm her down a bunch of times.
Yeah, you started to mention that when we were talking to you before about her getting upset about some video or something about being bipolar, or
what
are you talking about?
I think either my dad told me about that or John Walsh told me about she made a couple videos when she was just talking to herself, saying that she was bipolar or something like that. But a lot of things was when she realized that she's the other person in the relationship, that I'd always put my wife first over her, and that's what kind of made her take a step back a few times, and then I had to kind of calm her down.
Tell me about those times. What'd that look like?
So the first one was probably around July 4th when I had to leave her house, because she wanted to kind of spend most of the day together before she went to a baseball game or something. And when I had to leave, it kind of just made her kind of take a step back and wonder what she was doing. And I just told her hey, just because of what's going, just because I had to leave doesn't mean you have to just take a step. I was comforting her at some point. I don't even know why I was doing it. Maybe I knew I was too far gone at that point, but it was...
Because this is Shanann's pissed. She's called you 10 times. You were sleeping because you had your day off.
Yeah.
And then you go outside to talk to her on the phone and then tell Nikki that you need to go home just in case she calls back and all that, right? Mm-hmm. So what did she say to you, Nikki?
She was in the shower and she said, okay. And then that's when I talked about I calm her down, she's on the phone.
And was she we're breaking up, we're not gonna, can't do this?
No, she said she didn't want to, she didn't think it was safe or it was good for us to see each other anymore that day, the rest of that day, just because of all that. And I'm okay, that's fine. And she asked me to come over later on after she got back from her baseball game. And
so you did that?
Mm-hmm.
So what was the second one like?
It was basically about the same thing. She was, I didn't really know it at one point, but I guess she had set up a couple dates with some eHarmony app or something, and they never showed up. And she'd already made plans with me, and
Wait, what do you mean? She set up dates when she had plans with you?
Yeah.
Why would she do that?
I guess she kind of figured out they weren't going to show up. She went, I guess when she went to the baseball game, they never showed up, and there was another one and never showed up either.
So she's actively dating other people while
I
you guys
didn't
were
know
together?
it until a couple weeks later.
How did you find out?
She told me.
What'd she say?
It was one conversation where I actually kind of fell asleep on the couch, and then she had told me not much not sure why she even told me about it, but it was very random, and she could tell that it kind of like took me back a little bit because I figured she would have told me that if she was actively still like looking around. I mean, she didn't have to tell me, but I figured she
Do you
would
think she told you though so that it would hurry you up and
make a decision.
you're making a decision?
It might have been, but she never had anybody that's actually tried to like fix things as far as like, hey, like I like where we're at as far as like the relationship goes, and actually like I did stuff for her around the house, around her little apartment, and like nobody's ever done that. And she just thought it was different. So,
What about our male friend? Where does he stand with her? What's his name?
Jim,
Jim. Thank you.
he worked in the oil field, North Dakota, I believe, and I guess he's been a friend of hers for a long time, and it's kind of like a shoulder to cry on. There's always somebody that's always been around for her, and I guess he's had a couple girlfriends, and just I guess he's not hadn't had much luck, I guess, in that department as far as like keeping girlfriends, and just him and Nikki have always been good friends.
Just platonic friends?
That's
as far as you know?
as much as I knew.
Yeah.
But I think they just been friends for a long time, especially up in oil field, North Dakota, or whatever he's working now. I think either Wyoming, they go all over the place.
When Sandy and Frank lived in the house for 15 months, what was that like?
It was, it was tough. You want me to wait or
No.
Okay. It was tough, because I mean, you go from just me and Shanann and Bella and Cece to 2 other people, and then now 4 dogs.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Onyx he's a terror, 100 pounds of just heat-seeking missile everywhere, and like it was cool having more people around, but like it was stressful.
Yeah.
Like, because with Shanann, like having 2 dominant personalities in the house, and with her mom there, it was kind of like what her mom would tell her kind of how to raise the kids sometimes, or like, do this, do that, like whenever they were sick, she was like, all right, rub peroxide on their feet, they'll be fine. Just like, what? Okay. And like I wouldn't do it, and Sandy was like, just do that, Chris, it's okay. But like it's just like little things like that, and it was like a clash every day.
Yeah.
It's kind of like every time I got home, I didn't know if Shanann was pissed or if she was okay. Because when they first got there, they didn't have a job yet, and so they were just around all the time. But then, like once they got jobs and stuff, like I think it was a little better for Shanann because they weren't around the house all day. But it was definitely stressful, just just vacuuming like every other day.
Yeah.
And just like cooking was great. That was awesome. But
She's a good cook.
and I was always like because they were down in the basement, so I was always really trying to keep the girls upstairs while they were sleeping, so they're running around downstairs, and I didn't want them to wake up. And I know Frank always told me that waking up Sandy early is not good, so it was just kind of like walking on eggshells a lot.
Yeah. It was stressful.
Yeah.
Yeah. You think that stressed your marriage with the time, or?
I mean, it was 16 months. It was 15,
16 months. Yeah.
It was a long time. I mean, it was great around the holiday times because they were already there, and like all that was great.
Sure.
Yeah, it definitely. We never really had much alone time.
Yeah.
Because you always had to kind of plan it out. So.
Yeah. What was her purpose for living out there?
They just wanted to be closer to the kids.
Okay.
Because they're, we FaceTime a lot, but it's not the same of like,
All right.
with 2 kids, it's hard to fly back and forth. I mean, when they went back to North Carolina this past time, it was the first time Cece's been there. She was 3.
No.
First time her brother ever met her.
So were they trying to move to Colorado permanently, or they just?
They were thinking about it at that point in time,
Okay.
but Frank would have stayed. He didn't want to leave. Sandy wanted to leave.
She wanted to go back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it was a matter of like they knew their house wasn't being taken care of. And they wanted to go back and because they had put their house up for sale for a little while, but never bought.
What about your financial stresses?
Yeah, the bankruptcy was something I never thought was going to happen. I think that was back in like the 2015, 2016, somewhere around there. But I never thought that was going to happen. And I never thought, a lot of it was from the wedding because they just put it all on credit cards. And so it was just, and then the doctor bills from like, you know, endoscopies and just like girls were, seemed like they were sick like every month. It seemed like some type of ear infection, which to figure out was just like, you know, put the tubes in their ears and stuff. There was like, you know, different operations here, a couple overnight stays in the hospital for breathing and stuff like that. So it was just, it all mounted up. I mean, I never thought it was that far gone, but, you know.
Was any of that from Shannon's neck surgery, or are those bills pretty well paid up?
Well, I think the bankruptcy never touched the medical part of it, because you have to be like specify the medical part of it, medical bankruptcy, and then there's like regular bankruptcy.
Oh,
I don't think
okay.
bankruptcy ever touches like student loans or medical stuff. You have to like be specific with that.
Okay.
But I think it just took away like a lot of the furniture that we had bought, and then a couple other things inside the house. To kind of alleviate a lot of the, it took, we had to make the house payment by phone every month, and I had to listen to the bankruptcy spiel like every time, and it's just like, I didn't know how long it was going to take. But apparently it was, once you're in bankruptcy, it's pretty much you never get out of it.
Yeah.
It seemed, it felt like.
Weren't you guys behind on your mortgage even when I
like
talked to you?
earlier in like I think December 2017, and then January, February, March 2018. That's when we took the 401k out, the loan out to pay for that.
How was it that you were spending so much money? What were the big down?
Just, you know, kids and just other bills that we had, and I knew the car was getting paid for by the bell, but, you know, I never really asked to see, like, I didn't even have access to the bank account through my phone.
Oh.
So, like, I never really asked to see what it looked like how far, but I just know she'd call me and tell me, hey, can you pay the mortgage today? I'm like, yeah, cool. And that was, that's, you know, from my little four-wheeler incident where I sold it without actually paying it off yet, and she thought, like, no, you're never touching the accounts ever. So I'm like, okay, that's cool with me. But yeah, I never saw the account or what was in there. I just like, hey, there's my, like when I worked at Longmont Ford, I got my check, I just brought it there.
Yeah.
So,
There was a hair care company, I think it's called Monat. Does that ring a bell? You know anything about that?
Mhm.
Like maybe hair dye. I don't know. Looks like a. Do you know if she did like an auto order through that company and had stuff delivered for hair, any kind of hair care product or hair care dye?
not something, she had like little, there was something like a little gift pack she had delivered once every month or once every 2 months. Had like a different array of different products in it.
Don't remember where it's from. Okay.
No. Like we said, Monet?
Monat, M-O-N-A-T.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Ring a bell.
Okay. There was an order that was made, like $251. That's why I asked if it was like an auto order type
It
thing.
might have been an auto order.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it
right.
might have been something that, I know that Nicole Atkinson, she's into all that stuff. Maybe Shanann got her something, or maybe it was something she recommended.
Okay. How about the HOA thing? What happened there?
She was mailing it to the wrong address.
Oh,
They had
no.
changed her address, and she'd mailed it to the wrong address for a year. And then we got a letter in the mail where we getting like sued over it. We had to pay our HOAs for a year. So we had to pay double for either a whole year or a couple months. That sucked.
What happened to all the money that she sent to the wrong address?
Don't know. I don't know. They said they wouldn't credit it or anything. I'm not even sure what the address was. She said it was just something that she didn't see. I was like, well, I wasn't gonna harp her about it because she did so much. So I was like, I'm not gonna like say, what the heck are you doing? No, just
Sure.
don't need that to blow up. So. I know she felt bad enough.
So Chris, what do you think we could have done better? What could have made you tell us the truth that night? What did you need to hear from us that you didn't?
Not really. I'm not sure what really goes to people's minds when they're in an interrogation room. When I was in there with you and Graham, I was just nervous. I knew I had done something wrong, and I knew you probably already knew or were going to find out. And it's just like, I've watched enough, like TV shows to kind of see like, okay, what's going to happen next type thing. Never knew if it was actually right, but I think it's just the horror of like knowing what you did and trying to tell somebody else what you did. That's what kept me from doing it, because I didn't even want to admit to myself that I had done anything. So I knew what I had done. I knew how bad and horrific it was. I knew how bad I was going to hurt other people. I just couldn't even admit to myself that I had done it, because I couldn't even tell my attorneys I did it until like 2 weeks later.
So were you trying to save us from the horror of
No,
it, or
it was
what do
just
you
a matter
think?
of I couldn't admit to myself, and how could I admit it to you?
So do you think any amount of us asking you things different ways would have helped, or do you think anything would have helped?
I think if maybe you didn't ask about if Shanann hurt the kids, if you would ask the other, if something in that, a different order of question, maybe it would have came out a different way. Because that's the only reason I went with that story, is because that was...
Well, you weren't giving us anything
I know,
else.
I know.
That was the problem.
I
But
know.
so if we would have said, what do you think?
You would have said, I think you'd have probably had to, if the video didn't show them in the truck, you probably had to have lied and just said, we saw the kids in the truck. I hate to say you would have to, lied to get me to say what you wanted me to say, but it might have been that.
That we saw the kids in the truck?
When we were talking, there was a point where you just said, "Can I talk to my dad?" Did you just want to tell him first?
I just wanted to, tell him that, that I loved him, and that it's probably the last time you're going to see me again, as far as, outside of a cell, pretty much.
You looking forward to him coming?
Yeah, because just talking on the phone, it's just totally different when you see him,
Yeah.
see a face, It's like when we got on that little video conference in Love County, it was all I could do to stop, just not to just break down on that phone. So it'd be good to see them
What do you get to do when they're here?
just like this.
Like in a room like this with a
If
table?
there's a
or-
visiting center, like down in my unit, and I don't know what it looks like, but I know they said it's like tables, and it's pretty much they set up a time and you get a couple hours.
That would
Just
be good.
yeah, just in that little center, and I'm not sure what else is in there, but I just know there's tables. I think there's like vending machines and stuff like that. But it'll be good to see them, and fortunately they can't bring their phones in or anything, so I was hoping they could maybe show me a video or two, but I don't have for a picture. But they pretty much only let you come in with your ID. That's it.
Can they mail you still photos or anything like that?
Yep, they can do the still photo. This is sometimes they try to play a video over the phone for me, and it's like, it's really like fuzzy and crackles a lot, so you really can't hear anything.
If you have any other questions for us, if you ever wonder, I wonder why they did this, or I wonder why the investigation went this way, or
I think the first time I was brought in, I think it was like the 14th, I believe, when I met you that night. You told me there was a bunch of other people coming in for statements. Was that true?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a couple people.
Okay.
Yeah,
There were a lot.
there were a lot, actually, yeah.
Okay. 'Cause I
We had a
think-
whole board worth of people listed
okay.
and agents out.
Okay.
They didn't get the attention you got that night, but
Yeah, I just wish none of this had ever happened, honestly. It's just like
Yeah.
you guys could have never had to come to listen, you guys never had to meet me or anything like that. None of it ever felt real. Especially like when they put me in that suicide watch cell, and last thing that one of those guys said was like, "Good luck," and just slammed the door, and I just kind of knew from then on that was it.
The deputy said that?
One of the guys, one of like they call them the SOG guys, Special Operations Group in the Will County Jail.
Yeah.
That was it. Next morning, like when I got out to take a shower, I saw the newspaper and there was this big piece cut out of it. Just know what that was about, and I just kind of saw like my last name around like, oh, and it begins.
if we came back to talk to you someday, would you be inclined to talk to us again? Okay.
Yeah, they just took me off guard. I had no idea.
Yeah.
We didn't really want to tell you we were coming just
Oh.
because we didn't want you to have anxiety about us coming.
I would have had anxiety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we figured the blitz attack was probably the best course today.
It's like the first time we met.
Right. Oh, you knew when you were meeting me.
I just did. Yeah, you just don't have all your props here today.
That's right. It's our props, man. Those it's legit.
Sophisticated equipment.
It is.
Right?
That's right. Sophisticated instrument.
I don't know that that's going to happen. We might not ever see each other again.
I didn't
But
think we would, honestly.
your experience is definitely interesting. You yourself are definitely interesting. We see things in you that we didn't expect to, and we don't see things in you that we expected to see. So it's very interesting to us, and it's. I hope you can take to heart that today was a lot about us learning how to do better, how to talk to people better, how to do investigations better.
I mean, like, I had never talked to a police officer before, or like FBI, CBI, anything like that. So that was all new to me. Like I said, everything that I've ever seen as far as the authorities has been on TV. So I didn't know like what to expect, especially when I got that interrogation room. It just felt like exactly what it looked like. Just like you guys poke and prod and then leave. Come back in. It's like give me time to stew, give me time to think, and it's just like it works. It just really like I don't know, just drills more questions into your own mind instead of just staying in the room and just asking questions all the time.
Mm-hmm. You liked it when we took breaks? Like, you think that worked on you?
I did.
So you were like watching videos of the girls at one point. Do you remember that? Them giggling and laughing and
Like when I was in the interrogation room.
yeah.
I don't remember that.
You don't?
I didn't. I thought you already had my phone at that point.
No, we didn't take your phone towards the end. Towards the end.
Okay.
That was weird for me.
And it's like when you put that picture in front of me,
Yeah.
and that's what probably made me do it. I didn't have a signal in there, but that's like the videos I had on my phone. It was just like I wish I had taken those videos out more often before all that had happened. But that definitely got in my head a lot. I don't know where that picture was from because I'd never seen that picture.
The one we showed you? Really?
And I'd never seen Cece in that dress before.
Really? We talked a lot about that dress.
Yeah.
Is that just
And you were saying-
making it up?
I never saw her in that dress.
You were even telling us when she last wore the dress
About the
and
boots
the
and
boots.
Not that dress.
Those are her favorite winter boots, and she wears
Oh, the
them all
winter
summer.
boots. Winter boots, yeah, but that white dress was a little different. I've never
Oh.
seen that picture.
No, because you talked about buttoning it up. You said, I remember because she just wore it the other day and I had to button up the back and,
It must have been a different dress, but not that one.
huh.
That picture, was that in North Carolina or was that?
I don't know where the
Pulled
picture
it
came
off of
from.
Facebook. Shannon's Facebook.
So maybe it was while you weren't there or
Might
something?
have been, yeah.
Because you don't recall that, huh?
Because there's a lot of pictures I guess I didn't see when they were in North Carolina that my parents have. like especially like 4th of July and stuff, and they had like 4th of July dresses on and stuff like that. I never saw.
Oh,
Some I had on my phone, but you know that white dress I never felt like they were like she was going to church or something. I just never saw that white dress. And Bella's little dress that she had. Her little awkward smile there in the back. Yeah, that definitely got in my head when I did that.
when we had the picture out there for you. See, and to us, it didn't feel like that because we
I know, I
really
didn't show
didn't
any
elicit
emotion.
any emotion.
I
Yeah.
don't show emotion that much. It's like my dad. It's like we don't show emotion.
Were you fighting it down, or were you just not a guy to show it?
Like most of the time, I'm not a guy to show it. Like I hold it in as much as I can, and like you know in my cell, I cried a lot, obviously, but like I'm not really a guy to show it.
Okay.
I don't know. I try to hold it as much as I can.
You were a difficult guy to read, especially at the house that day. That makes total sense now.
Because I knew it was like, because I was like in shock or just like disbelief or just like some people said I looked like I was a heartless, no soul person, soulless person when they did like the TV interviews or something. And I'm just like, I'm just glad I never saw it. I don't even want to know what I looked like, what I sounded like.
But you were obviously feeling it then. You just weren't.
Yeah, just like
showing it.
nothing registered at all. Everything was like just harbored deep down, and then like I think it was just one night when I was in my cell, it just all hit me all at one point. Not the fact that I was in jail, but the fact that like everybody was gone,
Right.
and none of it. I think if it was like like if something happens to your family, like in like an accident, like a car accident, or like something like horrible like that, it registers at one point. But if like you did it, I don't know if like it just doesn't register at one point. It's like in my head, it never registered.
Does it seem real now?
Oh, it feels real, like every
It does.
day. Like I see pictures, I just know like where they were at when they were doing that. When I first had like some type of hearing over the phone, and I heard like Frank and Sandy and Frankie and they were on the phone, and I forgot what kind of hearing it was. Something about like a probate hearing or something. I knew exactly where they were in the back. I heard the birds chirp. I knew they were on the back deck, and I just like walked back to my cell, just bawled my eyes out because I knew exactly where they were. I knew how many times the girls were back there, and it's just weird how emotion is processed differently for me than everybody else. Like something like you said, if you lost your kids in the grocery store for 5 seconds, you'd be a mess. And then like for me, it'd be like, I'd be panicked, but I probably wouldn't cry. I'd be like looking around trying to find them, but it's just like it just processes different for me. I never knew why. Never know why. I don't want to think I'm like a cold-hearted person. It's just a matter of just don't show it. Show the emotion as much as other people do. Even when the girls left North Carolina, her Shan's brother, mom and dad were all crying when they left. And it's just kind of like, I never really saw my parents get like that when they left. So it's kind of like, I don't know if it's like you're born that way.
Like your family doesn't show emotion like that? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, my dad couldn't really speak at the sentencing hearing because he said he was kind of like, he said he was going to lose it. Like lose his emotions, like that really hit me. It's kind of like I never seen him like that,
Like vulnerable?
But nobody's really ever seen me that way either. That's why maybe I just.
Was it ever like you're a sissy if you're like that, or was it just something you just never did?
I never saw my dad cry, so maybe it's just something that was imprinted in my brain that maybe I should never cry. Maybe
Was your mom like a loving mom, like a doting mom, and would give you affection and hugs and kisses? And
Oh yeah, she'd always ask me what was going on. Like she said, I was always hard to read. She never knew what was going on.
But did she still try and give you affection even growing up?
Yeah, she always, my sister was always a parent. Like, it was always like what was going on. She'd always just like, she's always open with me. It was always just, you know, closed off. And she always wanted to know what was going on, like how I felt. And I just like, no, okay. That's all I give her. Even if something was wrong, like I would have probably never said anything. Because like I just, you know, deal with it myself. But I don't know if that just growing up that way just kept me that way. Deal with things on your own, but then they build up so much that you can't deal with them, and they take a hold of you. You never thought, in a way, you could take hold of you.
Do you think as a result of just bottling up for so long?
Definitely.
What do you remember your dad saying at sentencing?
I remember there was a scripture. It was a 1 John 1-9. And then, like, a lot of it, their representatives said for him. And my mom said my mom spoke, but everything my dad had written down, the person said. But, you know, he was talking about him going to Little League games and races and stuff like that. And going to being my coach and everything like that. And I was hoping that, you know, I could experience the same type of joy doing that for my girls.
I remember your mom saying she loves you and she always will.
Yep.
That was pretty important to hear.
I think at the end she said, "I forgive you, son."
Yeah. That was big, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And your dad, when we came here today, we were just hoping and praying that you would take your dad's advice. Do you remember what he said? I hope if you ever get a chance to talk, you can talk about it.
Okay.
And I think that's what today was. Don't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it was. I didn't expect it to be today.
Yeah.
So DA made some comments during that sentencing hearing about your emotions and having no emotions, or you remember all that?
Yeah, just like, you know, he lied to us from the start and a couple other things. I believe that's what he was saying.
What do you think? Do you think he was anywhere close to? What do you think of? Basically, what is your opinion of what he said in that?
I mean, it's going to be, you know, taking all his evidence and putting it into the story that he wanted to convey. And like, if you don't know me, that's where you're gonna portray me. Like, if you take everything from August 13th to now, like, that's how people are gonna know. That's how people. There's no other way people are gonna opinionate themselves about me, just by what they see right there.
Right.
They're gonna say, okay, they look at the guy that did the interviews on the 14th, and they see, okay, that guy should be, like, you know, on his hands and knees, like, crying his eyes out, and what's he doing? He's just, like, you know, he's just talking.
Right.
And they're just like, no, I know, and maybe got some information maybe from, like, her friends saying, like, he was cheating on her or something like that. He's a cold person. He was, you know, trying to do this and that. It's like, they don't know me. That's always going to be their opinion about me. Because, like, there was one church service, the only one I've been able to go to in here, and it said, "You're not defined by one moment in your life." And I think that's, like, people are defining me by one moment in my life. They don't know, like, what happened before or what can happen later.
Right.
So I just hope that, you know, hopefully one day people can stop judging everybody. There's tons of people in here that, you know, I don't even want to know what they did because I don't want to judge them. Like, you know, like, I'm not that person. Like, you know, they know what I did. I'm not going to ask them what they did. You know?
Makes sense. You did show some emotion during that hearing. What part did you think you felt most emotional?
I think I felt when Frank was talking about, you know, I didn't know what to expect when he first started talking, but, you know, he said I was the evil monster, and that rang in me, and he said I tossed him away like garbage, and that hurt. And, you know, when Sandy was talking about that video about when Bella was calling me her hero, and that triggered it a lot there. And then when Frankie was saying, you know, like, I'll never be called uncle again, but you'll never be called a dad again. That really stung. But, you know, when my parents got up there, just like just hearing my mom and dad talk, you know, just like they really couldn't look at me. They really couldn't look at me, but I just know, like, you know, everything they said, saying they forgive me and that, you know, I'm still their son, no matter what.
Yep.
I know, like, even my attorneys told me, like, you need to show a little more emotion, because I guess first time I went to the courtroom, I didn't know what to expect. I was still, like, new to everything, just in shock about what was going on, and they said I was just a cold person, just looking at me. So when I did the plea and at the sentencing hearing, it just all of it felt just more real than anything.
I remember growing up, my pastor used to tell me, it's better to be 1 foot out of hell facing heaven than 1 foot out of heaven facing hell.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's you. Like you've been to hell and now you're facing the right direction.
Definitely, I definitely feel like I never knew I could have a relationship with God like I do now, but that's like the amazing grace with all of this, but I just wish nobody had to pay any kind of price for this. I know there's a purpose for everybody. I just hope that I can find mine.
Well, I think you're seeking peace, right? That's good.
It's the only thing you really can do right now is to seek peace and pray that everybody can find it too.
Good.
For everybody that was involved, like for all of you and just all your team and everybody, friends, anybody that was involved.
What do you want to happen with this information?
I mean, I know you're probably going to tell Frank and Sandy and Frankie, just kind of give them a little closure, right?
Yeah, I don't know how much I'm going to tell them. Obviously, you know Sandy better than I. She wants to know everything. But I'm going to digest a little bit before I talk to them about it. So I don't think there's any rush on that. And then, but other than that, I have no intention of talking to anybody outside of law enforcement. But what would you like to see happen with it?
I mean, I'd like to tell my parents, like, you know, when they get here, instead of like finding out anywhere else.
Yep.
So I know, like, they've been bombarded with information from, like, you know, from the Amanda girl to the Trent guy to from like people going on Inside Edition saying they knew me or went out with me or had like whatever else with me, and it's like I don't want them to think that it's like other like false information going out there, because like people are getting hold of information like, where did they get this information from type deal, you know. So,
Would you like to see those people charged?
you know, people take advantage of situations, and you know, they gotta honestly don't have to look into themselves and just figure out why they did it themselves. So I mean, I don't think charging them would help. I think they just need to work out whatever they got going on within themselves. I mean,
Did you ever have a profile on Tinder or anything like that? Any of those dating websites or anything?
no. I just had Facebook, I had Instagram. I didn't even know what the WhatsApp thing was called. That's when I was like, John.
You'd never heard of that?
No, I was just like, I don't even know what that is, man. This guy's fishing for something. So, I'm sorry you had to waste your time and go out there and talk to him.
It was a big time waster.
It was a big waste of time.
Yeah. But you would not want to be listed as a victim in that case, as far as him being charged with like false reporting.
I mean, he's whoever's gonna try to get their 5 minutes, 50 minutes of fame, whatever they want to do with this. I mean, that's on them. I mean, if he's willing to do that, then he needs to figure out what's going on with himself before, like, you know, I don't think charging him with something's gonna fix that. So it'd just be a waste of time, I think.
Anything else before we send it away?
Don't be afraid to ask.
How things in Colorado now? I mean, since all this has happened, everything's quiet now. Everything's
Yeah.
cool and
Well, we had another guy murder his fiance, girlfriend, whatever you want to call it. So that's made a lot of news too. I'm sure you've probably seen that on the news. No. So-
everything here is based. Well, I think the only thing here was like that Jamie Kloss thing. I don't know if you heard about that.
Oh yes, we were
Right.
just talking about that out front.
But the girl was kidnapped.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
escaped after like 90
Yeah.
days.
Yeah.
Insane.
That's crazy.
He'll probably come here. Everybody
Yeah,
comes
they
here.
said he's in some county jail. Is that right?
Yeah,
Reisch, you said?
Broward,
Barron or something?
Barron,
Yeah, so all I see here is like stuff I trying to. It's like everything happened here. So I guess they deny there. Watch out. Sorry.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Do
like
you
the-
mind if I take a picture of you just to show what you look like now? You just look so different than.
Just like
It's not gonna go on social media or
Okay.
anything. It's just for like our own records.
okay,
Is that okay?
that's fine.
That's good. Were you asking him something while I was?
No.
I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say it's like the roads in the background scary enough, you know.
I know. When it's snowing, it's
Mhm.
horrendous.
Reminds me of the days of ice racing, actually.
Of ice racing?
Yeah, but we had spikes on the tires then, so.
Oh.
All right, Chris, we're going to let you get back to your day.
Okay.
Want to finish your drink?
Yes, they won't let me take that back. Yeah, I had to shave. They recommended I change my appearance at the RDC. So
Why is that? Just so people didn't recognize you? No.
yeah, I just shaved it all off. And that razor, like I said, the razor they have here, it's like it's a single blade. So like I'm like,
A safety razor, right?
oh, it's more than said. It's just like it's more safety than actually a razor.
That's why he doesn't shave.
It's like a sharp rock or
Right.
Just imagine shaving the same spot for like 5 minutes, and then finally,
something starts going.
yeah, it starts. It's like I gotta warm it up or something. I don't know.
You'd probably be better just plucking them out with your fingers or something.
That'll be more, you know. Everything here is for safety, so like,
Yeah.
I think like once I get moved to GP, I could have something different. So,
Oh, that makes sense.
because most of the guys in my unit can't have razors, so. That's
Well,
it.
that makes you feel better, probably.
Well,
But
they
they're
don't have to
not-
watch me. Other guys, they stand next to them while they shave. So that would be kind of weird.
Oh.
So they have any other jobs, like if, like fleet, would you be able to go work fleet maintenance or anything like that?
If
Or
I
is
got
that-
classed down to like a minimum,
Uh,
or like a low medium. They have guys that like run across the street to like a records building and work over there. I don't know, like, you know, they said it takes a while to get class down from like maximum to medium.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure like if they've here. I don't know if they'd ever take me to Colorado, or I don't know what their plan would be.
right.
I'm not sure if that happens or not.
Yeah. That's all pretty secretive, and then right up to the minute they do it.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
You guys gonna do exploring around here?
I don't think so. Everything's covered in snow.
Yes, we were-
And it's
We were
freezing.
such wimps when we walked out.
Maybe go rent a snowmobile or two.
Explore the hot tub
Yeah,
at the
right.
hotel.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Same as baseball season, but it's not, so we go to
Yeah.
Brewers play or something.
Well, NASCAR's back in full swing.
I saw the last two laps last night when we came out.
Oh, did you?
And I went to over like 200 NASCAR races growing up, so
Yeah.
I went to one Daytona 500. It was one that Mark Martin almost won. I was hoping he would, but he got passed by Kevin Harvick coming out of turn 4. I was just like,
Yeah.
oh. Yeah, it was a wreck fest, I heard. So
Yeah, it's hard. I didn't get to watch it either. But you went to NASCAR school, didn't you?
Mhm.
Yeah.
so
That was fun.
it was a blast.
Yeah.
It was like my childhood, just reliving it all over again.
Right.
Just seeing race cars with dynos and doing fabrication, welding, all that kind of stuff. So it was really cool. Not sure if that school's still over there in Mooresville or not, but I'm guessing it still is. Okay.
So do you have to be escorted back? Is that what they do?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, like the unit I'm in, we all have to have escorts because it's a special management unit.
So guard escorts you everywhere.
Yep.
So what about when you're all playing basketball together? Are the guards watching you?
There's 3 of them in there.
Do you ever get in fights playing basketball?
No, we're just, we're, guarding each other, like blocking everything like that, but everybody's
We're
go
cool
through.
with each other? Good.
This way.
Yeah, I'll take one.
I think there's one right there.
You guys fly back tonight or
Tomorrow.
tomorrow?
Yeah. Could have flown back tonight, I guess, but I don't know what time the flights are even.
It's probably the only time you ever come.
My brother
Oh,
went
yeah.
to school there, so. But I had never visited him when he lived there, so that was my first time driving through yesterday. It's a cute little town. Actually, this town's cute. Honestly, like the downtown. It's a pretty cute place.
It's just so desolate because it's so cold right now.
I think it was like a couple weeks ago, it was like -50 with the wind chill here.
Oh,
Yeah, they said like the PSU counselor I talked to, she said it hurt to walk in here and breathe.
22.
wow.
Not bad.
Yeah, they were saying like on the news, like for people in like Chicago and all those places, not to take deep breaths because it was like freezing their lungs. Yeah.
It was insane. It was like a deep cold from Canada that came through here that just like it froze everything. I mean, it was so cold in ourselves. We were just like going out to eat. We were like just like shaking like that because the heat couldn't keep up with
Yeah,
that.
there's not much you can do.
Plus, this place is old, so like all the windows like were
Oh.
they couldn't insulate it.
Yeah.
The wind was just like just rushing in.
Would you stay here if you could?
I don't really know much about the state or anything about what's going on in here, but like from what I see, they say it's decent.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's a lot better than going anywhere else.
Yeah, that's generally the word is if you hear it's not as bad as other places, that means it's pretty good.
Yeah, so like I'm just hoping and praying that I can help people here and that they'll just keep me around. Maybe they'll make me like a personal care worker or something. Help other inmates, mentor them, because I guess they have a couple guys that are serving a life sentence that I've turned into personal care workers or counselors.
Good.
Help other guys when they come in. Maybe I can do that. They don't have like the normal programs you would have, but it's fine with me.
Mm-hmm.
Like some guys like they want to get like extra degrees and stuff like that. They don't have that here. You have to go to one of the other places.
So if you just said, I want to, do some more education stuff, would you get moved to another place, or is it totally up to them whether you get
It's
to
totally
do
up
that?
to them. Because like I'm not sure how that gets paid for.
Right.
So like I'll just whatever they want me to do, that's what I'm gonna do. If they want me to move back to Colorado, I'll be like, why? Why do I have to move back to Colorado?
Oh, if they told you that,
Yeah.
you would question that?
Oh, like after a while, if I was here for a long time and they say, okay, since you leveled down, we'll move you back. I'm like what? But know how that would go.
Are you scared to level down though?
No, I mean it'd take years for that to happen, but like I don't know how it would be like in Colorado in a DOC there. A PSU counselor, she worked in DOC in Colorado and California. She said Colorado looks like California now.
Really?
She says bad about the gang violence and everything.
I could see that.
Yeah, I can too. Definitely changing. Yeah, I think people in this part of the country are just different overall. It's really, we kind of talked about that earlier. Colorado's not like it used to be. And people here just seem to be nice regardless.
I think a lot of transplants probably moving into Colorado from other states.
Yeah.
probably affecting that, because no, Dave Colon, he said they were moving to Florida just to get away from Colorado because it's too
Oh, are
much
they?
changed.
Yeah.
It's just so expensive and.
Everything's expensive there.
Mm-hmm.
Houses just keep going up and up. If you want any kind of like a half an acre of land, you're just gonna pay the same amount of money. Here, I think it's a lot cheaper, but the pay is it's much lower, I think, too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was doing a little reading on the area, and the median house price up here is like $116,000. I mean, you can't even buy a mailbox in Colorado for that.
No, like a
No,
P.O. box
that's
right there.
true.
Yeah.
What, a P.O. box in Colorado? $100,000.
Nuts.
I think I was reading like Pittsburgh, kind of like the same way. It's like it's crazy to think about how much it varies from like state to state, city to city.
Pittsburgh expensive?
No, like
Oh, inexpensive?
yeah, it's like
Oh, yeah.
150,000 per house.
Really?
Like deal. I'm like, geez. But deal with the weather and deal with all that kind of stuff
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a reason for that, right?
Like here, I guess you got like April to September. That's your only good months here. The rest of the time you're in your house.
Yeah, I don't think I could handle that. Especially have snowmobiles.
I wouldn't even like that.
Yeah. You
It's
can't
still
do that
cold
every
on
day,
snowmobile.
right?
You start using the snowmobile for necessity, that's a problem.
To
Right.
get to the store.
You gotta put a license plate on a
Daily
snowmobile.
commuter.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Kind of walk around Titletown all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Are they coming or?
Yeah, they just literally walked away with another person.
Oh, they did.
They gotta get to the end of the wherever and come back.
Mm. This place is huge.
Big.
It's a long hallway.
So how far is your pod or wherever you're staying from here?
All the way down that side.
All the other way?
Yeah. I think this is like the west side of the building here.
Mm.
I haven't gone much farther than this. Like all my stuff's always on the east side. But they got huge like pods. They'll have like 100 over 100 guys in them. So, but they move like 40 or 50 people out each day.
You have a cellmate, right? Is that what you
No.
said? Oh, you don't have a cellmate?
Nope. When I go to GP, I probably will.
Mhm.
I haven't had one. Most of the cells in my unit are single cells. There's like 3 that are doubled up, but they don't have the overcrowding they have. That issue they had when I first got here.
That's what she was saying. That there was like 400 extra inmates
Yeah.
that they ended up shipping out to different places. So
Yeah, I never knew what the assessment part of it was as far as like how many people they had coming in and out, but it was like you got people coming in and out everywhere.
mm-hmm.
So is it like a general supervision type thing like Will County is? Where you have like a big room with the pods on the top, or how is that?
No, it's like you have a sergeant desk at the front of it, and then a hallway of like 20 cells. And they
Okay.
just kind of walk back and forth. The RDC was like you have like a cul-de-sac of cells, 3 tiers, and then like the perch for the sergeant right here. He can see into everybody's cell just from looking around.
All right.
But this one's like they got to walk up and down. This used to be like a mental hospital or something. They said
Oh,
like back in the day.
okay.
It's definitely old. You can hear those pipes like vibrating around the walls,
Mm.
and it's like, hope I don't bust.
Is it like exceptionally freezing in here?
Just got cold in the last 20 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah.
It gets,
Whew.
depending on which way the wind's blowing, depends on which side, but the building gets cold. It gets cold.
It's pretty chilly.
There was like a 6-foot snowdrift outside my window for a little while. It's finally starting to go down. So when it was like -50.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a little too cold for me.